That might be a good thing. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show, people. Ooh. Now, y'all know I may speak on astrological things, okay? So let me make sure I'm covered up. Let me make sure I'm covered up. Let's make sure I'm covered up. I may speak on astrological things, right? But astrology is not a subject that I have went um, definitively deep into. But because I am who I am, and people, we are just who we is. Just because I haven't went into the definitions to articulate it in a way doesn't mean that I don't know what I know, and doesn't mean that information doesn't still come to me to let me know um, where the energy is at, where the season is, not just the season of the year, but just cosmically. And it is the rise of the divine feminine. And when you are aware of that, that is not something um that you can bound. That is something to be embraced because that is something that we need. And that is something that I feel masculine men should protect, not something they should try to subjugate, right? And so I'm saying that because that is where we are. That is the temperature of the earth right now. Okay, all these different floods and tsunamis and that forest that allowed you to suppress it is no longer allowing that suppression. It is standing up and saying, okay, you had your opportunity to be in the spotlight. Now let's fix this stuff and let's work at it together. Let's acknowledge I being that I am, you being who you are. And when I speak in these terms, I'm talking energy. I'm talking feminine and masculine energy. Those two energies need to work together at this time. They don't need to be one, you do this, you do that, the other, you do this, you do that. No, no, no. Those conflicting things need to cease. And you need to just recognize, okay, hey, this energy has this amount of power and ability. That energy has that amount of power and ability. Let's put our powers and abilities together to make things better. Period. Right? So, but we are in a retrograde. We are in a retrograde. And things are happening. And I just want to share my experience in this spectacular retrograde that we're in. Okay, so I started out this evening waking up from a wonderful nap. From a wonderful nap. Putting my dinner on, sitting on my couch, attempting to study, right? Because I had paid like almost $200 to do this math. So I'm like, I'm going to do this math and I'm going to pass this math test, right? Even though I'm so tempted to get a refund now because there's another alternative for me. And I have some days. So I have some time to decide whether I want to go an alternative route that's going to be free and get my refund. I won't get my money right away, but I will get it back. Okay. I gotta make a decision. So I have some more research to do to see about this other alternative route. But with that being said, yeah, I've paid for this test. I have the study guide, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna do it. They had some flood warnings. So they closed up the institution early today. Everybody's still getting a full day's pay though. I love it. 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 I love that space. And that space loves me too. But with that being said, yeah, so I came in, took a wonderful nap, got up, put my dinner on. I'm ready to dive into this math. My spirit, though, is not allowing me. And I'm like, what the, like, what is it? Like, but I've gotten to the point where I don't fight. I don't fight me anymore. I used to. Not no more. Okay, I don't do that anymore. So I just surrendered, and I said, okay, and I did something different. And I, not even ironically, because this is not irony, this is not coincidental. This is the power of allowing divinity to govern your freaking life, which is how I live my life. Divinity governs every aspect of my life, of my being, of my existence, every part of it, every part of it, even the ego, every part, every aspect, every part. That's how I live, and it works for me. And I don't think it looks the same for everybody, but I think that if everybody lived like that, like, we would just have different experiences, for real, for real. So I go with where my guidance leads me to. And next thing I know, I have a plethora of relevant, pertinent information and my awareness and my consciousness at my fingertips. I'm taking notes. I'm listening. I'm like, okay, this is the math I'm supposed to really be mathing. And I do all of that, and um, I'm like flabbergasted a little bit. Like, after I do all of that, I'm just like, and I share the information, and I'm just like, yo. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I knew that this is where I was heading, and it has to deal with status and correction and things that that spirit has already been guiding me on. But for a moment, spirit said, okay, I'm gonna need you to go and focus over here, and then I'm gonna bring you back over here to dealing with this, because what people don't, well, I think people are more aware of now, is that here where I choose to exist in this particular nation that is under so much scrutiny at this moment in time, the United States of America, that how this our governance over here is very multi-dimensional, multifaceted. It is not just black and white. There is labyrinths within this particular nation, which is a unification of multiple nations collectively, just within this one, and then on top of that, what people have done is they have created corporate entities, and the corporate entities sound like the organic nation itself, but it's not the same thing. It's a corporate entity which is separate from the actual foundation, the actual constitutional republic of the United States of America. That is different from the U.S. There's the U.S. and there's the USA. They're two different entities. One is the organic government. The other one is a corporate entity. And like, I could talk for hours about that, but I'm not, because I got some venting to do. I want to come back to this and look at this, because this is a moment. This is a moment of growth for me. And I'm going to get very intimate, and I'm going to get very personal about my personal life right here, right now. First of all, I want to just say thank you to my ancestors. I must say thank you, thank you, thank you. Plenty of gratitude to my ancestors. And I want to say thank you to those who are really working to make things better here, and to fix things here in our nation, and to really work at it being what it was designed to initially be. And I know that people have capitalized off of ignorance, and some people that look like I feel like this was never designed for us, but this is designed for us. And I dare say by us. I dare say that the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, is actually designed for us and by us. And here is the history of that. There was already an empire here that our ancestors had created. And it was at odds. It was at odds. It was falling apart because guess what we were doing? The same crap that we're doing now. Fighting against each other. Trying to dominate each other. Abusing our authority and our powers that we naturally have. That's what we were doing centuries ago. That's why the empire fell apart. It didn't fall apart because it was flourishing, it was doing good, because they were applying righteous principles and living righteously. That's not why it fell apart, people. It fell apart because we were doing messed up stuff. Okay? And the people that were at the top said, whoa, hold up now. It's gotten to a point where it's irreparable. So what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? It's falling apart. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And then here come these immigrants. Here come these immigrants lost across the fucking ocean. And they're just like, damn, what are we gonna do? What the fuck are we gonna do? And those immigrants that came over here fucking lost. And the motherfuckers of the empire that was falling apart, they got the fuck together and they started talking about motherfucking solutions. And the people that was over here started teaching the people who came over here certain things. And ta-da-da-da-da, the United States of America was fucking born and created. Again, by us and for us. But not, they said, we got to be very careful this time. We got to be very particular. We got to put things in this. We got to make this a labyrinth. Because we can't make this so that it is easy for motherfuckers to... We got to make this so this lasts this time. Because when we did it these other times, it ain't last. And people got into these positions. They got high. They got mighty. They started fighting with each other and shit started falling apart. We don't want that. We want peace. We want harmony. We want freedom. We want liberty. Y'all want that? We want that too. Okay, let's work this together. Let's spellbound this shit right here, where we're gonna honor natural law, where we're gonna honor God's law, aka divinity. We gonna honor that. We gonna have that be our governance within our governing. We gonna make that the foundation of the US of A. That's why it says, in God we trust. You think you want to break it into acronyms, the G, the O, the D? No. There's a code. That code is telling you that divinity is really at the core of this. If they intertwine divinity into this, that is really why that as much as people try to tear it the fuck apart, it can't fall apart, because divinity is what's holding it together. Divinity is the center and the core of this nation. That's why it says, in God we trust. It says, hey, we're going to do our best putting this shit together on paper, but God, you, the divinity, the spirituality, the part that we can't see, that is the part that is governing this shit. That's the part we can't see. It's going to change. It may look different at this particular point in time compared to this particular point in time, but that core is going to be what it is. And that's what it is. And that's why when you go into those courts, it says that shit. That's what that really means. But let's get back to me, okay? Let's get back to me. Because I didn't get to this space and place overnight, okay? But I feel so grateful. I feel so grateful. So okay. So I have that revelation, and after I have this revelation and I have this divine order, I'm like, whoa. And what I just shared with you was not the revelation. That just came to me. I didn't even premeditate what just came out of my mouth just now, okay? It literally just came out of my mouth. But those who know it's the truth, or the truth, okay? So anyway, back to me. because this is the SupaTea Podcast Show, you know. So yeah, so my dinner is on. I'm following my divinity. My divinity's led me and guided me into this revelation of things I need to do. And I realized, oh wow, I knew this already, but I just didn't know when it was gonna come. And now it's here, and I'm just like, oh, I'm excited and I'm happy and I'm grateful. And I'm so grateful I listened to my divinity. I'm so grateful that I'm plugged in, I'm tuned in, and I'm tapped in. I'm so grateful for it. And I'm just like, okay, wow, okay, let me have a beverage. So I have a new beverage mix that I enjoy. Um, it's like it's a twist of an old mixture that I used to enjoy, and this old mixture was, I jokingly say, my family knows this. My very closest ones, like my cousin, aka my brother, he knows that my baby formula was spiked. Not purposely. It wasn't like, like some of these parents be purposely giving their kids corn syrup and shit. Not corn syrup. Cough syrup and shit. No, 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 no. That wasn't the case with me. With me, my good old 70-year-old old school Southern gangster that was raising me, that now was renounced her gangsterism for the most part, and now was a good Christian going to the Kingdom Hall. she she occasionally had a beverage herself. And once she was done with the beverage, even when the beverage wasn't done itself, she would just leave the beverage, to the wayside. And as she left her beverage to the wayside, my curious young toddler self was like, let me have a sip of this beverage. This beverage is quite tasty. All right now. We all just having a wonderful evening and night's sleep. Because I've had some infamil and beverage. And so, as these human bodies are so designed, they will adapt to what you introduce to it. And being introduced to the particular beverage that she was enjoying so early desensitized me a bit. Now, I don't abuse anything, but still, it desensitized me. Whereas some people, they could indulge in that beverage and they're right away like, whoa. Whereas me, I'm just like, it's like Kool-Aid, but, I still don't drink Kool-Aid because of the sugar content. So, not on a regular basis. Now, possibly here and there, maybe, but not on a regular basis. Like, not even on a monthly basis. Like, I don't even remember the last time I had some Kool-Aid, but I'm just using Kool-Aid as an example to compare it to the beverage, okay? So, I know you're like, well, what's the beverage? What's the beverage? I don't know if I'm going to tell you what the beverage is, okay? All I can say is that it was a mixture, and the part of the mixture was ginger ale. That's it. Now, those who know me what the other part of the beverage was, okay? So, but ginger ale was one part. So, yeah, I just recently, I had some ginger ale in the house, and I had another beverage that I had explored while I was maybe about a decade or so ago. I was like, let me try this, and then it is so suitable because of how this particular beverage is actually made. And again, spirituality is intertwined in everything that I do. So this is a beverage that is made from a sacred plant. And how they harvest it and how they make it, all of it's sacred. And it comes from sacred land at the same time. So it has become one that I enjoy, but I was enjoying it with pineapple juice, and I think that's the only other thing I've tried it with. But for some reason, a few days ago, because I had some ginger ale and because I had that here, I was like, let me try these two things together. And I was like, these two things work together. Oh, wow. So, anyway, that's what I decided to have today. After I put my dinner on, after I had all these epiphanies just naturally, I was like, okay, let's take it, let's calm it. Like, let's smooth this evening out. But I don't know how fucking smooth it's going. It's going actually smooth. But yeah, man, it got very interesting after I consumed that beverage. So I consumed this beverage that's made of this from the sacred plant, from sacred land, mixed with some ginger ale. And now I get a phone call. I get a phone call as soon as I had enjoyed this beverage. And I think like right after, I think right before I got that phone call, this is what I did. Right before I got that phone call, I decided I'm going to say how the fuck I feel about something, because what's really going on? Like after I had the epiphany, I realized, okay, I'm doing all of this, but and I see the connections, and I see where I need to be and go, and da 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 da. And I see that part I have clarity on, but where I don't have the clarity is where is the divine partner at? We did it because okay, I'm gonna do my part, rise of the divine feminine. I'm here incarnated right here, right now, as a woman, as a feminine. Okay, I'm empowered. Okay, great, wonderful. Uh, still in all, still in all. How I like ease. So because I like ease, and because I like things to go smooth and things to go, effective and efficiently, there needs to I need to be doing this with a counterpart. So who's the counterpart? Because there are a lot of ones that's auditioning for the counterpart position. And good Lord, goodbye, Wally, golly, are they very interesting? Like I'm taking notes. I'll have to get back to you. I'll have to get back to you and just let you know whether you got the position or not. But they're coming correctly. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, let me see. Let me though. And then we're in this retrograde, so of course exes are trying to circle back. I had an ex run into my son in a random place, and I'm like, I already know how that conversation went. I love your mother. And then ironic. The irony is that I'm pretty sure that more than one person has had that conversation with my son within this last 30 days. I love your mama. Your mama is so special. Your mama is so special. I love her so much. I just would. I'm like, I'm probably not saying it verbatim, but I'm pretty sure my son has heard that quite a few times this month. Anyway, I digress. Back to me. So I decided. Somebody sent me a request on social media, and I'm like, this person is this person's people. What's going on? Somebody didn't know. So let me tell you about this somebody. I'm pretty sure I've had this conversation before, but I don't know if I've had it here. I feel like I've had, but fuck it. We're going to talk about it again, okay? Over a decade ago, when my youngest, and I feel like I have to go even beyond this point, but we're going to start at this point for this particular broadcast. My youngest had recently joined the ancestors, and that was a very traumatic event for me and my family unit. My family unit at that point in time was just me and my two children. So for one of our units to not be in physical form anymore was very, very traumatic for the family. And I instinctively went into super hyper vigilance and super protective mode and super warrior mother goddess mode. And they were, like, in hindsight, when I look at people and the people I interacted with, they may have had good intentions, but I was very, again, vigilant and protective and warrior mode. Like, I didn't trust nobody. I was doing my very best to protect my son. There were entities, corporate entities and energies, and now, again, in hindsight, I get that they were used to dealing with similar situations with different factors, and so they had a protocol. But I was not used to dealing with anything like I was dealing with. And so their protocol, even though it was sensical, because they explained it to me, so, I was able to comprehend and make sense of what they were saying. But emotionally, it was just like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? You're not protecting who you said you were here to protect. You are endangering them. So now you, who you said you were my, they presented themselves to be an ally to me, because we have the same freaking purpose to protect. You're not being protective. You are endangering. So now you're no longer my ally. You're my enemy. And I want to fucking, now I have an issue with you. I have an issue with you. You have not protected what you said you were going to protect, which is my son. You haven't protected him. You have endangered him. You have exposed him to these fucking abuses and these fucking more. You have compiled trauma on the trauma that we have already experienced from the loss and the grief that was after the abuse and all the other trauma that we went through. You are compacting the trauma. You are part of the problem. And that's how I was coming at these people, and they were just like, oh shit. give her sorry, ma'am, sorry. And then I don't even think I got a proper sorry. But yeah, that was my experience. So in the midst of that experience, I met an individual, and that individual that I met, it was different. It was a different. It was I felt like I could kind of stop being warrior-ish, but warrior-ish was still in me. But I was intrigued. I was intrigued by this individual, and I was just like, "Wow, you're you're kind of awesome and shit. Who are you?" You really out here doing what these motherfuckers say they doing? You really out here, like, are you for real, for real? Let me see, because they said they was out here helping people. I don't know if you out here helping people. I gotta see. Let me hang around and see. So I hung around. I started hanging around, and I was like, oh, they are really kind of helping folks. Wow, that's so amazing. Wow, that's so astounding. Wow. And I'm still in my 20s, mind you. Wow. I'm wowed by this freaking particular individual. And so I'm going to skip ahead. I'm just thoroughly intrigued. I'm thoroughly attracted. And I don't really know too much of nothing, but I know those things. So I express those things. And they're like, And I'm like, what do you mean, no? Yes, yes, it could be so awesome together. They're like, no. And I'm like, yes. They're like, no. And I'm like, you just don't get it. 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 And all the while I'm trying to convince this person that I feel this way and that this is a good idea, they're like, nope, 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 nope. Life is still happening. Life is still happening. I'm dealing with the challenges, and so I deal with the challenges. And fast forward, a whole decade has passed. Okay, a whole decade, a whole 10 years. So a whole 10 years of somebody saying no, 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 mm-mm, no. I believe it. I believe it. I finally believe it. Oh, you know what? You've been saying no this whole time. Okay. You know what? My bad. Let me. I'm not even gonna bother you no more. I ain't gonna show up. I ain't gonna pop up. I I'm gonna just. I'm gonna go about my business. Okay. Deuces. And that's what I've been doing. I've been about my business and how I have looked at this experience. And because there's other details in this shit. Because again, this was not a regular person. This was a mystical person. Okay, this is a person that practices mysticism. Period. Point blank. Okay, so there were experiences, that was had, and had dreams and all type of stuff. But I was having dreams before I met this particular mystic. Okay, and I'm gonna go into those dreams, but I'm gonna come back. So we're gonna go back and forth a little bit. So let's go. Let's fast forward now. 10 years have passed. I've accepted that they said no. I'm not it. I'm okay. I'm all right. Still going forward. I'm like, okay, cool. Because here's the thing that I realized: I was growing and I was healing in the midst of that admiration, and in the midst of that experience, I was still growing. And what I realized is that I'm okay regardless because of who I am. I'm okay. And days may have not been easy, but I look at things, I'm like, hey, this prepared me. That's how I was looking at it like now, because see, another. Mm, 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 mm. So there's more than, obviously, there's this, I don't know how many people practice mysticism. I don't know, nowadays it's more common than it was. I don't know. It's a lot, okay? And I have met somebody else who's a practitioner, and I didn't look to meet this person. I was minding my business, and I stumbled across them, kind of like I stumbled across the first one, but this time I'm not traumatized in my 20s. This time I'm healed in my 40s. So this time I'm just like, okay, yeah, hmm. Okay, I see a little candle. Okay, I see altars. All right, I see it. Pleasing on the eye. Mm-hmm. And of course, I did apply the same formula, which was, let me stick around and see more. This time, though, when I stuck around and I saw more, I was like, oh, whoa, wow. Okay, I got to go. Cause I don't think you was available. Ooh, what's that? You got a gold band on your finger. Ooh, it's in hieroglyphics and everything. I got to get up out of here. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. You were fucking amazing and astounding, but I'm out of here. Got me stuck for a whole nother decade. Here's where it gets interesting. I'm out of there. I'm like, I'm not going to that space anymore. I'm just going about my business, And people, random individuals, are like, you go over there. You go over there. I think that's where you go over there. And I'm like, mm-mm. It was the first person that was like, go over there. I was like, mm-mm. He was like, why not? I was like, I can't really tell you why not. I just know. I want to go there. Oh, I want to. I want to go over there. The second person, go over there. Yeah, go over there. I think you're having a challenge. That's where you need to go. They can help you over there with that challenge you're having. Go over there. And I was like, mm-mm. They was like, why not? And I was like, I can't really tell you why not, but I don't want to go. I don't want to. When internally, my reasoning was, This is very intense. Like, I just, my emotions are like at a zillion, and yeah, I'm thinking very inappropriately towards this person. I don't want to. Me, it's I'm the issue. Since I'm the issue, I'm gonna keep my issue self away from there. The third person told me to go over there. The third person told me to go over there. And I was like, oh, this could be divinity. This could be divine. Because it came 3 times. Random individuals, different situations. People keep telling me to go over there. All right, ego. Go over there. I went over there. I was scared out of my ass because I was like, I had no justifiable reason of not being there. I just was like, I don't want to, I get back over there. I know I've shared this here, and they were just like, sure, yeah, I gotcha. And I was just like, and then here comes my vigilant part. It's like, oh, nobody better bother this motherfucker right here. Because I'm protective. I'm protective. I'm naturally protective. People don't judge me. This is what it is, right? It's what it is. So I'm over there, and I've been over there, and I'm still over there. I'm still over there. And it works. It fucking works for me. I don't know exactly what's going on, but the fact that it's working and good things and great things are happening. And that's all I know. I don't know any of the details of anything. I just know to show up and show up as my best me. And when I show up as my best me, good shit happens. And I'm just like, oof. I'm in awe, but I'm also in a prepared. I'm also not like how it was when I was a wounded, traumatized 20-year-old in grief. I'm not her anymore, but I'm still the soul of me is still the soul of me, so I can recognize amazingness when amazingness is before me, and I just be like, oh, wow, wow, wow. But I could be like that, and I could still, be open to dating, and because I am dating now, and I'm not dating that person, because I don't know, they're they're not prepared yet to date me. But it's a wonderful experience. And what I've chalked it up, this is what I have totaled it up to be, that whole decade was just preparations. So that even if I would be a bit startled because, hey, mysticism is a wonderful science to explore and to practice. However, how it is being practiced and how it is being applied depends on the individual that is applying it. Yeah, you may learn the rules and apply the rules, but where are you? Where is your heart at? How are you trained? How are you conditioned? Where's your mentality at? Because that is going to determine what you do with the information that you have before you and with the information that you have access to. Because if you are coming from a healed, immature space within yourself, then having access to this powerful information is not going to automatically heal you. You have to deal with yourself. You have to actually heal yourself and actually grow and actually mature to deal with that more responsibly. And how I know for a fact that there are tons of individuals who have access to that sacred knowledge and information who are evidently, this is not just an opinion, we see it all around us, evidently using that sacred knowledge and that sacred information from an unhealed and a limited perspective and mentality. We see it all around us. We see it all around us. You need to heal. You need to get it together. Let me tell you about a reoccurring dream that I used to have from a little girl. Motherfuckers chasing me. Chasing me. Like literally chasing me. Running after me. And they were dressed in suits and ties. And when I was a young girl, because I watched a whole bunch of cop shows, what I associated those people as was being FBI. Because you know the FBI is always dressed in a suit and tie, right? What I realized in my 20s was that it wasn't not the FBI. It was these men that's practicing mysticism. And they could never, ever catch me. But I allowed one to catch me. Like I knew I saw this one running after me and I wanted him to catch me because I was attracted to him. So I slowed down and I allowed him to catch me. Allow him to have access to me, have access to my light. Ignorantly. Because see, when something is for you, it's going to be for you. You're not going to be running away from it. I mean, I know. I know I said I was avoiding someone. So in a aspect, I was kind of running from that person. But that wasn't the person. I didn't see that person. And I've had dreams about them. But in all of my dreams I've had about them, they were never chasing me. Ever. 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 All the dreams I've had about this new person was us doing silly stuff, like playing and it was always silly. It was always silly, fun stuff that we did, that we do in our dreams. Now I did have some other ones that were like, ooh, um, I seen us with children that we made together. I've seen a lot of different things with this new one, but it was never them chasing me, and never them in a suit and tie chasing me. That I've never seen. That I've never seen. But the one from the past, yeah, the one from the past. hmm That one definitely chased the sister, and I let him get me, and then the dreams and stuff I've had with him has been multiple. But at this point, knowing what I know and knowing how people can project their thoughts and people can project their energy, it doesn't faze me. And so I sent a message to that person, and I said, listen, you want to talk to me? Talk to me directly. Don't send your boys into my damn sending me friend requests. What they sending me friend requests for? That's your people. What they sending me stuff for? That's your people. What they sending me stuff for? Y'all part of the same club. What they sending me stuff for? And I left it like that. I didn't say it as many times as I just said it just now, but that was the premise of my message. You want to talk to me? Talk to me directly. Don't send your people. Just don't do that. And so I'm having a conversation on phone, chit-chatting. Very good conversation at that. And that motherfucker, I sent the text message to. This is after I didn't already finish my beverage. So I sent that message, I want to say, maybe right after I finished my beverage. And then I got a phone call. Not from them initially, from somebody else. And I'm on the phone with this other person. I'm chit-chatting. And the phone call keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. They keep calling back, keep calling back, keep calling back. And I'm like, okay, whatever. We having a good conversation. And then in the midst of our conversation, I